So, hopefully you have just put down which one you think is most important. And I want to talk about this a little bit before we move on. And the answer is all of them. Okay? It depends on what you want. So let's say you're trying to figure out the most useful way to measure the average income for a family in the United States. I will tell you right away, mean is not gonna do your thing. Why? Because we have people who are earning minimum wage, and we have people like Bill Gates and Elon Musk and Warren Buffett, and you name all those billionaires, right? There are a whole bunch of them. And they make a lot of money. If you add all of this together, the average income is going to be meaningless. So what do? Well, how about mode, the most common income in the United States? Well, that is also not necessarily the most useful, although a little bit more useful than the mean, right? I think for something like determining the average income, it's going to be the median, right? The stuff in the middle that will give you the true average, right? But this is not always true, because you know that your grades in your quizzes and tests are done as a mean, right? It's the average. So let's say you get 40% on your first attempt, and then you get 60% on your second attempt, and on that last attempt you study really, really, really hard and you get a 70. Well, when you take the average, right, you have passed, right? Because once you have a passing attempt, you should be good. But guess what? This is 170 divided by 3. This is not a passing grade, right? This is what is this going to be? A 60 something, right? Actually, not even a 60 something, right? It's going to be a 50 something, right? It's 150 divided by 3 is 5, so 56, right? So this is a 56. And of course, you see, it's like, oh my God, why? Why my grade is 56 when I had a 70 on my third attempt? Well, guess what? It's because it's an average. Of course, over here in ISVA, we don't want you to have a 56 if you have a passing attempt, right? This is when you let me know, hey, Miss M, I have a passing attempt. You have to fix my grade. And I do, right? I give you a 70. But this is basically what's happening, right? So the average or the mean is a very important number for us in this particular school. So this is what happens in your tests. This is what happens with your quizzes, but not your lessons, right? And of course, the mode is also an extremely useful number. Let's say you want to figure out how many people like a certain number. Then, of course, you want the mode, right? So let's do a little bit of practice. Let's still practice finding mean, median, and mode using our heads and a simple calculator. So here's a data set. And boy, is it large. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers, and some of them are in fact repeated. So what do? Well, first, let's go ahead and find the mean. That one's easy. Add them up and divide by the number of numbers. So when I add all of them up, I put all of this in the calculator. Please don't do this in your head. That is not a good idea. So I put this in the calculator and I get a number like 4.2. And yes, guys, your mean and your median both can be a number that is not part of your data set. Because remember, when you have the average number, when you have even number of data points, your median is actually the average of two numbers in the middle. So next one, let's do the median. Now, in order to do the median, you actually need to arrange this in ascending order. Now, if you look over here, this is not in any way in ascending order. Why? It looks like it's ascending, guys, because you have 1, 2, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Oh, but then I have 6 again. So now it's going back. So it's not increasing order, right? And then you have a 2. So you have to rewrite the whole thing in ascending order. And then you take a look and see which two numbers are in the middle. I have exactly 10 numbers. So the middle is going to be right here, right? In between these two numbers. So according to my rules, I have to take these two, add them up, and divide by 2. And this is a number 4, which is actually not part of our data set, and that's okay. And the last but not least is, of course, our mode. And mode is the numbers that are repeated the most. And we have two numbers that are repeated twice in here. We have 2 number 6s, right? And 3 number 2s. So mode is, of course, 2 because it's repeated the most. So the next thing I want y'all to do is I want you to go into Nearpod and do all of this on your own using a different data set.